Imagine it's July 19th, 2026. The World Cup final has arrived. More than 80,000 fans are packed inside MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, just outside New York City. The atmosphere is electric. The world's best players stand on the field. Billions of people around the globe are watching. For one night, the center of the football universe is the United States. The final whistle blows. A team lifts the trophy. Fireworks explode above the stadium. The tournament is over. And then something surprising happens. The most important part of the 2026 World Cup begins. Because while everybody is focused on who wins the trophy, almost nobody is asking a much bigger question. What happens to soccer in America after the World Cup leaves? Many people assume the answer is simple. America hosts the tournament, fans get excited for a few weeks, then everyone goes back to watching football, basketball, and baseball. That's what happened before, but this time may be different. In fact, there is a growing possibility that historians will eventually look back at the summer of 2026 as the moment soccer crossed a line in America. Not the moment the sport arrived, the moment it became impossible to ignore. For decades, soccer has carried a strange reputation in the United States. People have been calling it the sport of the future for generations. And yet, that future never seemed to arrive. The NFL remained king. College football dominated Saturdays. The NBA grew into a global entertainment giant. Baseball maintained its historic place in American culture. Soccer always seemed stuck somewhere in the background. Popular, but never dominant. Growing, but never quite breaking through. Every World Cup produced the same headlines. This is soccer's moment. This changes everything. The sport has finally arrived. Then the tournament would end and the excitement would fade. At least that's how it looked on the surface. What many people failed to notice was that soccer wasn't standing still. It was quietly building something much larger. Year after year, generation after generation, without attracting the same attention as America's traditional sports. To understand why 2026 could be different, we need to look at who is growing up in America today. 20 years ago, many American sports fans viewed soccer as something foreign, a sport that belonged to Europe or South America, a sport Americans watched once every 4 years. That attitude is disappearing. Today's teenagers and young adults grew up in a completely different world. A world where watching European football is as easy as opening a phone. A world where Premier League highlights appear instantly on social media. A world where Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, and Erling Haaland are household names. For millions of young Americans, soccer isn't an international curiosity. It's part of their daily lives. They follow clubs, they buy jerseys, they debate transfers, they play video games centered around football. Many know more about European football than they do about baseball. That would have been almost unimaginable a generation ago. The change has already happened. Most people just haven't realized how large it has become. Then came a moment that may one day be seen as a turning point. Lionel Messi arrived in America. When he joined Inter Miami, the impact was immediate.
Messi the club! Messi scores!
Ticket prices exploded. Television audiences increased. Social media engagement surged. Suddenly, one of the greatest players in football history was playing league matches in American stadiums. Children who had only seen Messi on television could now watch him in person. The significance went beyond one player. Messi's arrival sent a message. The American soccer market mattered. Not in the future, right now. The world's biggest stars no longer viewed the United States as an afterthought. They viewed it as an opportunity. And that perception matters. Because sports grow when talent, money, media attention, and fans all begin moving in the same direction. Now imagine what happens, not just any World Cup, the largest World Cup in history. 48 teams, hundreds of millions of visitors, viewers, and interactions. A tournament spread across North America and ending with the single biggest match in world football at MetLife Stadium. The World Cup final is different from almost every other sporting event. The Super Bowl is enormous in America, but the World Cup final is enormous everywhere. Europe watches, South America watches, Africa watches, Asia watches, the Middle East watches. The entire planet pays attention. For one evening, the United States will become the center of the football world. That kind of visibility is difficult to measure, but history shows it matters. Major sporting events often leave behind something much larger than memories. They leave infrastructure, investment, interest, and most importantly, inspiration. The real impact of the World Cup will not be measured inside MetLife Stadium. It will be measured in homes across America. Think about the children who will watch the tournament. Some will be 6 years old, some will be 10, some will be 14. Many of them will experience their first World Cup while it is taking place in their own country. They will see packed stadiums, global celebrations, national pride, and unforgettable moments. For many future athletes, this will be the tournament they remember for the rest of their lives. History is full of examples like this. A child watches an event, becomes inspired, starts practicing, and eventually becomes part of the next generation. The players representing the United States in 2042 and 2046 may very well trace their football journey back to the summer of 2026. That's how sports grow, not through advertising campaigns, through inspiration. But the story doesn't end with fans. Money follows attention, and attention follows major events. When billions of people watch a sport, companies notice, sponsors notice, broadcasters notice, investors notice. The World Cup provides soccer with something incredibly valuable: proof. Proof that enormous audiences exist. Proof that consumer demand exists. Proof that future growth exists. If television ratings are strong, networks will invest more heavily. If merchandise sales rise, companies will invest more heavily. If attendance grows, clubs will invest more heavily. Every part of the ecosystem becomes stronger. This is how sports industries expand. One major event creates momentum. Momentum creates investment. Investment creates growth. Growth attracts even more investment, and the cycle continues. Skeptics will point out that America hosted the World Cup before. They are right. The United States hosted the tournament in 1994. That event helped launch Major League Soccer. It planted seeds that would grow for decades. But America in 2026 is not America in 1994. The country is different. The media landscape is different. Technology is different. Demographics are different. The soccer culture is different. In 1994, fans relied on limited television coverage. Today, every match from nearly every major league is available instantly. In 1994, global football felt distant. Today, it feels local. The barriers have disappeared. The sport is already woven into everyday American life in ways that would have seemed impossible 30 years ago. That is why many analysts believe 2026 could have a larger impact than any previous soccer event in American history. And all of it leads toward one night: the World Cup final, MetLife Stadium, July 19th, 2026. The cameras will focus on the players, the trophy, the celebrations, the drama. But in many ways, the match itself may not be the biggest story. The bigger story may be what that image represents. The biggest sporting event on Earth, held on American soil, in front of a global audience, demonstrating that the United States is no longer simply a host. It has become one of football's most important markets. The final will symbolize something much larger than 90 minutes of football. It will symbolize a shift that has been building quietly for decades. So what happens after the final whistle? Nobody knows. Maybe soccer continues growing steadily. Maybe Major League Soccer reaches new heights. Maybe youth participation surges. Maybe future American stars emerge because they were inspired by the tournament. Or maybe something even bigger happens. Maybe the summer of 2026 becomes the moment when soccer stops being viewed as an outsider sport in America. The moment when millions realize the transformation has already been underway. Because the real story of the 2026 World Cup isn't who lifts the trophy at MetLife Stadium, it's what happens afterward. When the crowds leave, when the cameras shut off, when the world moves on. And America discovers that soccer's future is no longer coming, it's already here.